following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily communicated to its sponsors or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. We've got an excellent panel today. As always, Harry Glanz.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Harvey. It's beautiful out, and welcome to our panel. Hi, panel.
It is absolutely gorgeous. Great call, Harry. Of course, we got Becky Alley on. Hey, Becky, good morning.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy to be here. Glad the humidity has died down just a tint.
For sure. Joining us on the Zoom broadcast, Michelle Saward, eXp Realty. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning. Thank you
for
having me.
You know what I love? Our Zoom broadcast is sounding really great. I don't want to jinx it, but no technical difficulty. So keep it here on 97.1 all morning long. We've got 1 hour of the Mortgage Real Estate Show, of course. 248-539-9797. We're excited to bring it to you. We're excited because, yes, Becky, you said it. It's beautiful outside. The humidity, finally, we got some rain here, and the humidity dropped, and things are really gorgeous here in Southeast Michigan.
It was a freaking humid haven. I couldn't handle it. I have like wavy hair, and I came out. It was just like done. I was like, absolutely not. So I came out this morning. I was like, oh, it's pleasant. I can deal with this.
Hey, Michelle Saward, there's no surprise that this pandemic has created tons of opportunities out there in the housing market. You know, every agent I'm talking to, they're just nonstop. They're writing offers, they're negotiating. It's back and forth. Tell me what's been going on. Just here after July 4th, you're already back in the trenches.
Oh, so deeply in the trenches. Yes. It's quite a competitive market out there right now. Got to come with your A game for sure to win. And it's just going to continue to look up as I see it for the coming months for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Harvey, you know, there was a report out, and I'm sure you read it. It came out yesterday. And Michelle, this relates directly to you. It says realtors report that their customers are back because of the pandemic. Okay. What I'm saying is you're probably going to tell me your customers never left.
Michelle?
Right? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was for Harvey. Yeah.
That's okay.
No, it's for you. It's for you. So
actually, they say that, you know, what is that one? Detroit is back. Detroit never left. The customers are back. The customers never left is the reality of it. So yeah, they're just, Becky and I were just experiencing this just a bit. They're just sort of shifting a bit in what they were looking for as a result of the pandemic. It's definitely changed people's mindsets a bit. I first-handedly had that experience. We've all heard about this stuff on the radio before, that people are now going to maybe pull away from the big cities and get more of some rural areas. And I will say that's definitely one of the areas that I specialize in is southern Wayne County. We've got some great rural areas like that in northern Monroe County as well. And literally last week closed on a deal with a woman that was looking for a historical home in an up and coming area in Detroit, wanted to do some renovation work. And she canceled those plans and went for the farmhouse. We sold her, you know, an early 1900s farmhouse that she was really excited about with a bit of land. And she went from talking about, you know, walking to work in downtown to getting chickens. Like,
Yeah.
So Michelle, Harvey,
total
Becky,
shift.
and I did a podcast on Wednesday morning, and we were talking about that very thing, that people have seemed to shift it away. There was a trend to smaller, more efficient, smart homes. To now, people are looking for more space. They want more space and office space in their house, because two people could be working from home now. So they need larger office space, recreational facilities. You know, Harvey's favorite thing for 30 years, I've been hearing from him, you know, Harry, pools are worth something. Swimming pools are worth something. And more people want swimming pools and recreational facilities, and they just want more room. So, I mean, that just seems to be now what is going on.
Yeah.
Yes, we were laughing about that, saying, because like I'm on the list, like I'm gonna add a pool. I mean, it's the cost of living. If I'm gonna be stuck at home, we might as well have like some kind of something happening in the backyard other than like Mojave Desert, because it's been so hot, right? So then this year under the Christmas tree, we're just gonna put it, like Harvey was saying, we'll just put a picture of a pool. Here you go. This is what you're getting. Well,
the kids are going to wait, Becky. The kids are going to open up their Christmas gift, and it's going to be a picture of a pool. You might get one of these soon.
Yeah, be like a Fisher Price something.
Yeah. A lot of fun out there. Definitely the swift rebound in most states ever since the ban was lifted is, you know, again, and we're all scared about it because the numbers have been up on that stuff. But there's no doubt that technology really stepped in, Michelle,
Oh.
and kept, although 25% of the buyers and the sellers did freak out, what they should have, but those people are all back. And of course, and the technology kept it all together for so many of us. But I like the shift. The articles have been coming out over the last couple of months talking about maybe the needs of some of the folks to get out there in more of the rural areas. I do want to talk about USDA loans because there's zero down opportunities for so many of our first-time home buyers. And we are the largest lender, Capital Mortgage and Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, the largest lender of USDA loans, I think, in the country, if not 1, 2, or 3. And it's a great opportunity. If you're a first-time home buyer, be sure to call Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker, or call us here on the show at 248-539-9797. We'll make it fun and exciting for you to purchase a house. But Michelle, as we talk about maybe some of the folks saying, hey, I don't want to be in the urban setting.
Yeah.
Well, that's an opportunity for all the folks that do want to be downtown and get into these downtown cities, because come on, it's just half and half. You know, people are going to make their minds up and decide what they want to do. But at the end of the day, there's been no doubt that the cities have been robust. And like, as you mentioned, Michelle, you got a lot of action, even in Detroit and some of the other urban cities.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you mentioned that about the USDA loan. That's a rural development loan is what that is. And so that does allow people, if they, I'm just going to tag on to what I'm talking about before, if they want to make that migration out into the country, a lot of people don't realize that that's a zero money down. You could buy a farm, get yourself some chickens thereafter. And those are in designated zip codes. So it's real easy for your lender or for your real estate agent to go in, cross-check those areas and see if you would qualify for something like that. So those are some great opportunities. Yeah. And you know, when we didn't talk before the show today, Harvey, and I feel like we're, eye to eye all the time, because when you were talking about technology just a moment ago and how things have kind of changed, some of the options, if people want to feel comfortable and confident, even if they're moving into an urban area and they don't necessarily want to, be traipsing through all of these houses, or if they want to still list their home and they don't, feel comfortable having even the real estate agent come out and hang out in front of their face for about an hour, we're completely a virtual platform. eXp Realty is one of the companies that was quote unquote built for this and made for this. So there was no retooling needed with our company to be able to accommodate that. And we're seeing such a pull and gravitational, movement in that direction of people just wanting to minimize the amount of properties that they're looking at and minimize the exposure that they're having and just be more efficient with their time. So I don't think that, going back to what you said a moment ago, I don't think that urban living's ever going to really go away. I mean, it was on such the rise and very hip and very cool and can be a fun place, to be. I think this is just a blip on the map for what's happening socially right now, and that, as soon as that kind of calms down again, I think we're going to want that greater sense of community. I mean, Becky wants a greater sense of community with a swimming pool in her backyard.
Yeah. I'm just going to have a party in my backyard again. It's all
We're all going over to her house to swim. We're going over.
I mean, the thing is too, is that people are always going to want what they want, right? But at the same time, this COVID-19, it is influencing real estate. It's changing a little bit. It's changing what people's wants. It's changing their needs. But at the same time, like we're talking about, that technology aspect has allowed us to kind of almost be in each other's faces more than we were. Like I see you more now than I've seen you. Like I'm always on the phone with you, Michelle. We're hustling and grinding, but I feel like technology has made it so simple just to see everybody and create that platform for your clientele as well, where you have to think about safety right now. You have to think about everyone's health, because what good is that dream home if you are not healthy enough to enjoy it? So
I accidentally disconnected.
Opposite end of people movers to chickens in your backyard. I mean, that's it's a polar opposite for sure. And just in the USDA too, we have quite a few USDA loans. We do a lot of them. So when we're talking 0% down, that's your down payment. You still have closing costs, and you're still going to have prepaid items for your taxes and insurance. So you can ask for concessions on those transactions, and those time frames do run a little bit longer, only because this is a government program and they're going to require their own underwrite. So at Capital Mortgage Funding, we're going to breeze through our portion as quickly as possible. But when we're writing these offers with our real estate agents, they know that they have to give a little bit extra time, because right now with COVID-19, USDA has a little bit more of a hands on it where they're going to want to
Yep.
look at it themselves as well. So we're going to have a good time. We're going to get you in that house, but there's certain parameters that still go on right now with these government programs, and we're functioning at normal capacity, but we're at the mercy of some other entities that kind of extend things a little bit.
Yeah, and as
Yeah,
Michelle said,
as Becky can attest to that, okay, we're going to close. She can attest to that because it's really a double underwrite. We do it, we approve it, but then because it's government money on this particular zero down program, we have to go ahead and get the blessing and send it into USDA. Now, what happens
hey, Harry,
when there's a 4th of July
Harry's
holiday
breaking down y'all
weekend?
USDA. Hey, Harry, hold that thought. We're up against our first break of the morning here. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket, 248-539-9797. We'll be back.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All righty, welcome back to the show. It's 9:17. It's a Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, always powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, Equal Housing Lender. We have a great panel as always. Harry Glanz, of course. We got Becky Alley and Michelle Saward from eXp Realty in Detroit. Quick salute out to my buddy James Craig, Chief of Police in Detroit, for holding it down last night. True leader. We're lucky to have you, James Craig. And thank you to all the hardworking people out there on the front lines.
Yeah, that guy's a superstar, everybody. If you watched the news last night, that guy is a superstar.
We appreciate you. Let's hold down this fort and make our city great like it always has been. These are the greatest mortgage times, Becky Alley. There's no doubt about that. Harry started to get into some of the program about USDA, that the underwriting times and such. Now, we're seeing a little bit of that in the mortgage world, where on refinance transactions, you got to be a little bit more patient. Yes, the amount of volume is causing refinance transactions generally to close in about 45 days or so. But your purchase transactions, if you're a real estate agent, call us at Capital Mortgage Funding, because even on FHA, VA, USDA, we handle all your mortgages. We're generally closing them in less than 30 days. But we did mention the USDA program or a MISHDA program. Yeah, usually about Becky, as you know, about the 25, 30-day mark, we're completely approved. We have to send your file off to the next underwriting set, and then they'll put their stamp on it and we get you all closed. So make it fun and learn how to get approved, because as Michelle said, Michelle, there's no room for error here. The sellers have all this equity in their house, and there's multiple bids and there's lack of inventory. So if you don't have your A game, you're really not going to be able to buy that house. How important is it to have that true approval?
It's incredibly important. This morning, it's funny, I took a call, Rise and Shine, 8:01 a.m. I took a call from an incoming buyer, and she said, you know, we don't have a pre-approval yet. And I took a look. I'm like, this house is 1 day on the market, gorgeous granite, recessed lighting, the prettiest pictures, right? And I just said to her, look, I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't have your pre-approval, there's no sense in going to see the house, because it's going to turn into a multiple offer situation. You're going to not be prepared to make a bid. It's going to go, and you're going to be left frustrated. And we're seeing the frustration on the buyer level, or on the buyer side of the transaction, at just an epic high. If you're not working with a skilled professional, how to write offers to win, that you get one shot. Almost every property right now is going into a multiple offer situation. And if it's not in a multiple offer situation in a week, oh my goodness, seriously, just a slight price adjustment, and those houses will be sold. I have the lowest inventory. I'm almost 20 years in the business, and I have the lowest listing inventory as an individual that I have had since I was almost new in the business. Things are just selling just that quickly. So Becky and I were talking about another transaction that we just saw too, is that even the for sale by owners are needing more help than ever, because when they don't realize how much money they're leaving on the table by not being in a multiple offer situation and not getting that exposure. When a deal comes across the desk that, you know, Becky and I have done, like a for sale by owner that we know that's, you know, a buyer wants to buy a for sale by owner, some of these appraisals, she's seeing that money is being left on the table. These appraisers are coming in even higher than what the contracts are written for. And if you don't have someone that deeply understands what the demand is in the market, you can really be shortchanging yourself in terms of finding what I call the shiniest little fattest puppy of the litter of, you know, of offers that come in. You want the healthiest credentialed buyer for your property that's going to give you the highest price.
Yeah, that's not a guessing game. You got to have some intelligence. You have to have gone through this a whole bunch of times. There's so many different things out there, like the wording on an escalation clause is very, very important. We've read them backwards and we're like, wait a minute, this doesn't even make sense sometimes. So very important, Michelle, you talked about it. How will you get your offer to stand out, whether it be days of occupancy, whether it be also some of these sellers, let's throw that out there. Some sellers are doing contingencies. There's nothing wrong with that, because they're having a little bit of trouble also finding their house due to the lack of inventory. But you can really put the whole transaction together so that that seller knows they have the house sold, and that way they can go out a little bit more confidently to make an offer on the next one.
Yeah, I can say almost 20 years in the business, I've never left anyone homeless that didn't want to be.
Okay.
Hey, Michelle, I have a question for you. Since we've known each other now, I feel that I can ask you a hardcore question, because we are on the Hardcore Radio Show. Yes or no? Some realtors are reluctant to show for sale by owners because they might not get paid.
Hands down, yes.
There you go, everybody.
Completely true.
So I was just talking to a for sale by owner. They were thinking about going to try to sell their house by themselves. And I literally said the very same words that when you go ahead and you talk to a for sale by owner person, say, listen, you are missing opportunities. You're being nickel wise and dollar foolish. You're probably not going to get the highest and best for the house. And you need help negotiating terms, occupancy, things of that nature. And you have to have somebody go through that house to see if it's even going to be properly, listed to show. I mean, so many people think that they're going to save money by not paying a realtor commissions or professional commissions when they're costing themselves tens of thousands of dollars.
I mean, something so small that you just mentioned, Harry, something so small like occupancy, if that comes down to like 2 months, you could have just cost yourself $5,000 and not had a clue that you cost yourself $5,000 just because of the language and how the contract was structured. I mean,
Well, Michelle, let's throw another thing out there. The professionals out there, they bring a lot of light to things. Of course, we automatically get you involved with qualified mortgage bankers, because a lot of the families selling, they're not sure if they can even go on. They might have had a change in their pay structure at work. So now all of a sudden, they haven't even spoken to a lender. They've already signed a contract. They're in trouble. Also, they don't even know how the assessments work. I've said it. I keep saying it on this show, more so in the last 3 or 4 years, because there's a lot of new agents in the marketplace. Are our buyers really reading the purchase agreements? Are the sellers reading their agreements? And does everyone understand if they have an assessment on their house, how that transfers? And the answer is typically no. So
Correct.
Those are very, very tough questions. We always say, hey, these are tough questions when you're sitting down with the family. Do you have any assessments on this house? As a seller, you might, when you sign a purchase agreement, typically you're saying that I'm going to pay all assessments and any back property taxes on the home. So you have to understand these things and what may or may not be negotiable. And also in today's very, very tough marketplace to get a house, Michelle, that could work in the favor of a buyer.
Yeah.
He might say, you know what, I'll accept that assessment. There's a little bit of extra knowledge in there that can get you that house. And you know what? It ends up costing you $3,500 more, but you got the house that you wanted for your family.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
you're talking about tax assessments. It could be property tax prorations from
Road
county to
assessments,
county.
road
That's-
stuff,
That's thousands of dollars there. Another thing too, this is a little off the beaten path, but I kind of want to go there, is that it was in different markets, Zillow was buying houses again. They started doing that again. And so a lot of people think it would be so convenient just to have a corporation come buy my house. But when you look at side-by-side math, or even if you're selling to someone who says, I'm going to buy the home as is, and I'm just, or not as is, but I'm going to, just come in and buy your home quickly, no showings, pretty ease of purchase, like one of those iBuyer kind of platforms. Even when you're doing that, they may require additional repairs to have it meet their criteria for a purchase that is not typical and customary for a repair in this area. So I've even heard of people, putting on new roofs that might not have even been a necessity, because they sold to somebody who was just a quick right now buyer in their back pocket, easy, and just spent thousands more than they needed to. It's crazy.
This is why you need to work with professionals like we are talking about. We're here to set you straight. And when, even for sale by owner, or even a lower commission that you're going to pay on not listing your home, like with an agent, or a discounted listed, it doesn't mean you're going to make more money. What Michelle is trying to say is it means that you're going to possibly leave money on the table. If you're even interviewing an agent, they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to charge you 4% commission. That's less exposure. If they're just going to slap your house in the MLS, you're not getting the full service that you deserve, because that exposure, paid social media that someone like Michelle is bringing to the table, her network of people, like the buyers, her agents, you're going to get that top-notch offer. And I'm a testament to that, because we had a for sale by owner. Michelle stepped in and they got the top dollar for their home, and it was sold within 3 days versus it sitting there for, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. It's a huge difference when you hire professionals, and less doesn't get more. You get what you pay for sure.
Always. Next week, we're going to have on a home inspector, even talking about those pre-inspections on houses and so much information you can do to dress up your house before you get it on the marketplace. Also, we'll have some more great real estate agents on, just like Michelle Saward. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
I think, hey, Harvey,
it's
you understand
still
what
laughing.
we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's
everybody
pretty
that
funny.
has everybody that has a keyboard's an expert. So it's all good. I'll take them all. I'd rather talk to people face to face. But you know what? If I got to get on a Zoom call or, talk to a keyboard hero, a keyboard expert, I'll do that too. I've got no problem with it.
Well, the purpose of all of this is to let people know that don't know any better, like what is really happening out there. I mean, everyone is an expert. Like they saw what their house is worth on Zillow. That doesn't mean anything. The point is we're volunteering our knowledge to make sure everyone knows what's going on out there. What Michelle is in the trenches every day. And honestly, like there's very few people or to mention that can give you this real life perspective of what it's like to buy and list homes at the same time, with the knowledge that she has. And, like you're here, I mean, take advantage of it. I'd love to hear what people have to say, like what their experiences have been buying and selling in COVID. I mean, it's been less than a dream. There's been some challenges. People are losing their jobs. We're constantly readapting to the new reality that we're all facing with. I mean, and, we're just here to help everybody, obviously. I mean, because like, I think it's fun. So there.
Yeah, well said, Becky. Thank you. 248-539-9797. You'd like to join the show. We're going to take some calls here. Of course, we got sports coming up and social commentary with Pat Caputo and 97.1 The Ticket all day long here. No, it's fun to talk about buying. I've had a lot of new first-time home buyers. I got some, one of the ladies I'm working with now, I think she's been renting for 12 or 15 years. I can look back at her and like all that equity that she missed out on. But it's exciting and fun, Michelle. And this little 1 hour that we give you, a little consumer advocate show, it is fun, but it's just really set people up for their life. There's nothing more important about other than having a roof over your head. And there's nothing that can probably bring you more wealth or some equity down the line than home ownership.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, although it's frustrating and there's low inventory right now, I mean, the bottom line is we all need a place to live, and markets go up, markets go down. But if you're going to be in your property, I was through the down economy and I bought a house in 2005 and I was coming home every day, just kind of crying as the market was dropping. And my husband goes, who cares? We're not moving anyway.
Exactly.
Who cares? And guess what? We're fine. It's fine. So
Yeah.
it's, you're right. It's just a great way to build equity instead of having it go nowhere. So yeah, it can be, like I said, it's frustrating for a lot of people right now. We were talking on the break, just about what some of the frustrations that buyers are running into right now. And, that's the other thing to consider when working with a professional agent. They're going to do their absolute best to work for you in your best interest. But you got to understand what's going on right now with the restrictions of COVID, is that as a professional real estate agent, our rules state that we're not allowed to do overlapping showings. So no more than 4 people at a time in a house. So these houses are going very quickly. And when we go to pull up the calendar to schedule a showing, we will see that the entire calendar for the day of 123 Banana Street is completely full. And it's going to be really hard to get a non-overlapping appointment with another, real estate company that's already booked. So I literally will call clients and say, we have 1 time slot available today. I need you to figure out a way to come see it. If you can't come see it, then I'm going to go and do a virtual walkthrough for you. And we can write the contract electronically and try to lock that up for you and just get your offer in.
Yeah, get your offer in.
It's intense.
We were talking about that. Just really get your offer in, especially you've already seen 2 or 3 offers slip by. Your agent and you have already done your wants and needs. They know what you want. You guys are on the same page. Let's not play games. I mean, really, if you are a buyer and there's a reason why you might need to close and find something in the next 2 months. But if not, it's one of those tougher markets. Maybe you're better off sitting on the sidelines and see what happens this fall. We don't know.
Right.
It could be a complete shutdown again this fall, as far as we know. So the unknown's pretty scary stuff out there. But again, if you want to become a homeowner, stability, it's the essential rite to passage to adulthood is to become a homeowner. Let's not talk about all the fun and having your own space that this pandemic has showed that it might be very important to have. Again, we got some open lines here. We got Frank calling in. Do we got him on the line? Just about. Nope, not yet. Nope, doesn't want to come on yet. 248-539-9797 if you want to give us a call. Hey, Becky, we got to dive in for refinance transactions. It's half the business out there now because of all of our wonderful homeowners that bought houses in the last really 10 years. Such a great opportunity as we constantly see clients dropping their 30-year mortgages to 20-year and 15-year mortgages, consolidating, taking the equity and paying off huge student loans It's been absolutely great to help so many families do these cash out refinances. Now, the rules have changed a little bit, and you definitely have to have all of your paperwork, and hopefully you haven't done anything stupid and not made your mortgage payment, because if you have, it could jam you up. But there's no doubt, Becky, refinancing with these low interest rates is really saving families a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, there's also a lot of noise out there. I mean, people are like, oh, I heard the rates are, 2%. No, they're not. I mean, so right now what you're seeing a lot of online is they're advertising these rates that you actually would have to pay money for. So when you're calling, we're going to assess your situation. Obviously, if you bought a house last year or even 2 years ago, it's for sure going to make sense for you too, because right now these rates are the lowest they've ever been. If you're trying to tap into your equity, like Harvey was mentioning, absolutely give us a call. We're going to see if it makes sense, but there's nothing to sell. I mean, it is what it is. It's either going to make sense or it doesn't. So if someone's trying to push an adjustable rate mortgage on you, or this rate that you have to pay all these points for, you got to do the math. So you got to make sure you're talking to someone that's real and going to be honest with you, because I have no incentive to make you pay a higher rate or make you pay for a rate. It's really going to be up to you in your personal situation. I mean, so that's something that I think that we take a lot of pride in, is educating. We're always talking about that education element. And just because 2.875 sounds cool, it doesn't mean that it's worth paying $35,000 or $3,500 for it up front. So we'll talk about it. We'll make sure it makes sense, shortening that term, doing 15 years, 20 years, pulling that money out to get that pool 21 here. I mean, either way, we'll set you straight.
Hey,
but
we got a caller coming in. Let's go out to Dearborn real quick. Good morning to Mike out there. Hey, Mike, thanks for calling in and joining our show. Go ahead, sir. Good morning. Very good. Thank you. Right. Okay. Sure. You get a lot of that. Get a big purse. So go ahead, Michelle. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah, Mike, I would just I don't know if you're under contract or if you're, currently, or if you're considering making a bid on the property, or if you already own it. But I'll answer all three ways just for the viewing or listening public. Is that I would say, if you're considering making an offer on that and it's important to you that you're able to split that land, write your contract contingent on that you're, getting approval from municipality for a lot split. So that's really important to check out. I would not want to see you get into a purchase agreement and that is a priority for you and then it's not feasible. So, I mean, if you're already in contract, oh boy, okay, well, you're going to have to go back to your real estate agent and have that conversation about what's the priority and what's the value proposition for you on that one. And if you own it, it's real simple. Just head on down to, well, you said it was Livonia, I believe. Mm-hmm. Just head on down to the city, zoning and building department, and they should be able to walk you through the process of what's required. As a professional real estate agent, I don't like to get in the middle of that, because if something gets lost in translation, it's really best to put the client in direct contact with the municipality so that they're really clear on what's going on. So once you've gathered your information, then consult with your real estate agent about it.
Yeah, it's great advice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll check it out. Every city is going to have their own rules on it. And if the Livonia property doesn't work out, maybe we can find something else for you just on the outskirts.
Right. Yeah. Different cities have different rules for what they'll allow for splits. And then it also depends on, who's doing the split. Is it the new owner? Is it the former owner? And how long have they been there? So there's all kinds of things that can go with it.
Yeah. Mike, I'm excited for you, Mike, and I like your energy and I hope this project works out for you. So, yeah, give us a follow-up call if you end up buying the property, and you give us a heads up that was feasible to split the lot. I like that.
You know what Mike is talking about, though, about building an accessory dwelling unit. we're starting to see like low inventory in some of like some areas where they're high density and low housing, that these could be a real thing. I mean, they're doing them in San Francisco, and
Oh yeah.
possible, thing coming up here.
Alrighty, guys, we're up against another break here, 9:42. What a beautiful day out here in Southeast Michigan. Call Capital Mortgage Funding. You got to get that approval letter, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We'll be right back, 248-539-9797. Keep it here.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show, 9:46. Hey, good morning, everybody. July 11, 2020. Yeah, we're getting through this thing called the pandemic. And if you want to get through it the right way, you got to become a homeowner. That's right. Get out of that little small 500 square foot apartment you're living in. Get out of mommy and daddy's basement. That's for sure, too. They want to get you out of there anyways. Call us here on the show, 248-539-9797. It is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show in our 20th year. Just a little consumer advocate show to help you guys with home ownership and maybe getting that cool place to live. But also, we always like to give great information about good and bad things out there. Michelle Saward joins us on the good side of things, talking about great things about real estate. But real quickly, hey, watch out for those scams out there. Again, pandemics, opportunities for a bunch of goofballs too. Michelle, you might even see it on the real estate side Of course, we got to look out for it on the wiring of funds for closings, but also there's scammers out there with hang up on these robocalls. You can't get it hooked on those.
I got disconnected again. Yeah, thanks.
Emails, and stop talking to strangers. I mean, if you're getting bombarded by a bunch of strangers that probably aren't even qualified to have a conversation with you, you simply just hang up the telephone. Call the local people here in your own backyard. Hey, panel, would you guys like to comment on that?
Yeah, I would like to comment on that, Harvey, because what you're seeing right now, the environment is so ripe for people to take advantage of people. Strangers are out there. They're mass mailing, they're emailing, they're calling. I have a pile of mailers from lenders that I've never heard of that the first thing they say is capital mortgage funding, and they want to associate themselves with us and make it look like that they're related because they put our name, by the way, on a piece of paper, which is illegal in the state of Michigan per the Attorney General. So if you get something in the mail, make sure you call your lender of record, okay? Because people are buying these recordings from the county and they're just mass mailing out. It's like they're trying to catch a fish, all right? They're just throwing out a bunch of lines, and whatever fish they catch, they're going to try to hook you. Call the person that you have the relationship with.
I like that, Harry. More importantly, also look out for your folks. Look out for the elderly folks out there, your neighbors. Communicate with your neighbors and stuff. If there's a lady next door, she might be on there. Look out for somebody out there. Hey, I guess we got another call rolling up here. We're going to have that call coming up. If you'd like to join the show, 248-539-9797. We always make it fun here as we're talking about watching your back, and of course, watch out for those scammers out there. Becky, let's roll right into home purchases, because I like to end the last 10 minutes here of the show talking about what is so great. The part I miss most about home purchases, and I think some of the loan officers is really showing up to the closing. That part we're not allowed to. I did at the beginning of the pandemic. I was out in the hallway. I was outside of a building, but I haven't really been showing up to them. They're nice and tidy. They're easy. It's easy to purchase a house, but again, less people there talking about all the fun things and hugging it out at the closing table. But boy, oh boy, is home ownership a lot of fun, or what?
Yeah, I mean, closings have changed just a little bit, but for people that don't know, they're like, what's happening? How are we doing this? It's still, you're going to sit, everyone's safely, parted, like a separated. You're going to have to wear a mask while you're signing it. You're going to have your own pen. You're going to keep your own pen. But closings and real estate really have not slowed down during this whole, closings have taken place. Our title partners, our vendors, they've, adapted to these situations. Yes, I do miss a lot of times seeing everyone at the closing table, but I'm always available. I was on the phone with a closing buyer that was at the closing because she had a couple questions, and they were kind of working out some last minute details on the title side. So I stepped in to help them. So we're always available, even if we're not there. We're like Oz. We're like the man behind the curtain or the lady behind the curtain. We're always available.
You're the Oz.
Yeah.
If you came out back in, that's Oz. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's something to consider that in Michigan is called a wet state, meaning that everybody signs and, at one time, most commonly, that's how we've done things.
Right.
It's wet signatures. It happens all together in one moment. But many states for many years have done where the seller comes in separately and signs, the buyer comes in separately. They make, have 2 separate days, a day apart or something that they come in and sign. And then ultimately everything funds and it closes. So Michigan, I think, was slow to adopt the separate closings and, and creating that. And it's worked out very well across the United States. And that's exactly the kind of stuff that we're using now. So it's nothing to be concerned or alarmed about. It's pretty normal.
Michelle, I wanted you to touch on when you're running into people that are saying, well, I'm going to have an attorney. I'm not going to have an agent. I'm going to have an attorney review my documents, right? So I want you to kind of touch on the difference between you paying someone or someone paying an attorney versus having a licensed real estate professional reviewing their documents, and where that limitation kind of starts and finishes.
Yes. So let me start by saying, of course, you can always have an attorney review anything that you're writing. Just like you could always have a home inspection. You can always have a plumber, an electrician, an attorney, whoever is a specialty in that area of your concern, you have a right to have involved in your real estate transaction. Absolutely.
Hey, you guys, we got go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, you got a caller?
We do got a good call. I want to get to this one.
Get your caller.
All right, we'll follow up with you, Mike. Michael Livonia, he's talking about buying an investment property. Go ahead, Mike.
Morning.
Mm. Yeah, I really like a fixed rate for you. There's no doubt if you take the equity out and you'd like to buy one. In the residential side, we do 1 to 4 units, and you'll be able to get a residential mortgage, and that's the easiest path you're going to find. So a cash out refinance on your existing home, using that money, of course, to purchase up to 1 to 4 units. If you go over that, you're going to be looking at a commercial loan. And I'm not an expert on that, and I don't handle commercial financing, but we can definitely refer you. And a lot of times your local bank might be the first place to start with that. Again, commercial loans different than the residential loan. So anything over 4 units, you're going to be looking, for a different style loan.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes, you could. And no, they would be
No
individual
bundle.
sales.
No bundling. Yeah, no bundling on residential. You might be able to find a bank if you put a lot of money down. I mean, and you see that they'll bundle, but you're talking usually a lot larger numbers, usually 7 digits, where you're talking about $2 million worth of properties, and now they've got $500,000 already down. You'll see those, and those are bigger commercial deals. A little bit different creature than what we do, 1 to 4 units.
I think that definitely will have Michelle call you so she can kind of guide you, and she can kind of do both sides of that coin there. But as far as, if you're trying to, if it's a home equity line versus, using your home equity, like actual equity out of your home, I would say right now you're better suited just to take the cash out of your home versus doing the home equity line of credit, especially because there are limitations on these, they're called HELOCs. Some places aren't even doing them right now because of COVID-19 and the limited restrictions they have put on there. So that's definitely something, because we can do them as well. But I mean, again, there's the rate that you're going to see on that is not going to be as good as a normal cash out. So
hey,
we'll give
Mike,
you a
I'm
call
seeing
for that on that.
Right on, Becky. Hey, Mike, I'm seeing this unbelievable vision. I see you buying a 4 unit in a college town. How does that sound? Just
Ann Arbor.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's what I'm thinking. All right, we're looking forward to your phone call, Mike. We'll follow up with you, and it's a great call. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. Again, those are the opportunities that are out there, Michelle. Are they not? I mean, whether it be in Ypsilanti, at Eastern Michigan, or Adrian, or anywhere, I love that idea.
Yeah, actually, what Mike's talking about, I mean, that could really be a great thing with the housing demand right now. And if we start to see a second wave of, COVID, where businesses are shut down, you might find a greater demand for a tenancy.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Hey, guys, final thoughts. We got about a minute left here on the show.
Go ahead. Final thoughts for me. Michelle touched upon it about attorneys looking at closing packages. I'm an advocate of that. But most experienced attorneys know not one word on those boilerplate documents can be changed. So I don't have a problem with attorneys looking over and advising their client, but having an attorney show up to a closing because you think you're going to change a document is never going to happen.
Not those boilerplate documents. Becky, what do you got?
It's a great day. Give us a call. We got Michelle on here. We're excited. 1-800 low rate. Give us a call.
All righty. Hey. All righty. Hey, Michelle.
Saward, downoverrealestate.com.
There it is. Michelle Saward, Downward Real Estate EXP. You can always find her. Just punch in Michelle Saward. You'll find her. Hey, we got Pat Caputo coming up with sports. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. Enjoy the day.
Thanks, guys.